This week on Ahoy, we now have the Bluetooth version of the Clayton Power LPS in stock. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the LPS and how to run through the app, and also a few interesting little quirks that could catch a few people out. First off, we haven't posted for a while. We've had a bit of a tricky month. I'll explain a bit more in a separate video, but in summary, we had our van broke into at the start of the month. They smashed a window and got in. Can't really say too much more on that because it's still being investigated by police. They've got camera footage and a number of other different things, but I'll go into more detail another time. But the month got a lot worse. So Donny, our deerhound, unfortunately got really poorly. We found out that he had bone cancer in his back leg. He'd had a number of operations, but yeah, it finally was diagnosed as bone cancer, and unfortunately before being able to have the leg amputated, he got really ill, and over the course of a week he sadly had to be euthanized. So start of the month that was a bit tricky, and then if that wasn't bad enough, I went in for an operation, or should I say I went in for a colonoscopy, and they found quite a large tumour in my colon. So I had to go in and have that removed this month. And if that wasn't bad enough, Nova, our Saluki, was diagnosed with bone cancer and has had to have her front leg amputated last Friday. So yeah, we've been keeping up with all the orders, and I just wanted to say a massive thank you to people that have kind of called up and some of the people that had popped to pick up Claytons, and yeah, everyone's been really nice. I've not really put anything on YouTube because I just didn't want all the doom and gloom on YouTube, but I'm slowly realising, you know, the YouTube isn't just about, you know, nice holidays and you know, the Clayton stuff and all the other van stuff. Like it's me and my life, and this is what's going on in my life at the moment, and I'm feeling all right about it. I think you can look at things in life and say, you know, why me? But you can have runs of good luck and you can have runs of bad luck, and at the moment we're just having a run of bad luck. So we're trying to stay positive about it. We're cracking on with things. Luckily, my main business, I run a branding agency, a web agency. That's quite busy. We've got loads of projects on, and yeah, all the Clayton sales have picked up. So sorry for all the doom and gloom, but I just wanted to kind of explain it a little bit, and I'll go into a bit more detail because I'd quite like to do a video on the whole colonoscopy process with me and how a few tips could save your or your loved ones' lives by knowing a bit more about it. And the same with the dogs as well. Osteosarcoma, the bone cancer, is quite common in dogs, and just a few little tips on how to spot it could protect your little pooches. So without further ado, let's get stuck into that app, because I'm looking forward to kind of taking my mind off things a little bit, and I've not done a video for a bit either, so I feel a bit all like elbows and thumbs. Or is it fingers and thumbs? I'm not entirely sure what the exact saying is. Yeah, I've been testing the app. There was a few little bits that I spotted, and I'll kind of run through them. So if you've already downloaded the app, when you go onto this screen, just see if there's a little blue button at the top. If there's not, just go in and update the app. It was something I spotted, and when I first started to test it, it wasn't working. They've since done, I spoke to Carl, spoke to Denmark, they've since done an upgrade. So yeah, if you just make sure you're using the latest version of the app, that's the sort of main thing. But yeah, I'm really impressed with it. So I will talk you through first how to set it up, and then secondly, what the app does, and a few really tricky bits that could catch you out. So the app is called Clayton Power Go. Make sure you type in Clayton Power Go because I think the app's fairly new. It just doesn't show up when you put in Clayton Power. When you open the app, you will get a device list on the left-hand side. So if you click the burger menu on the left-hand side, you'll get a device list. That'll be blank, and then you should have a blue button which says like check for nearby devices. So what we'll do, we'll just first run through what you need to do on the actual system itself, on the LPS. So I was hoping that there would be a dongle, like a Bluetooth dongle that could be added to the Clayton, so that you could get this option for people that had already bought. But unfortunately, Clayton have just decided that the functionality would be put in the new units, and yeah, like at a Lumpit, that's what's happening. The good thing is that there's been no increase in costs. So if you buy a Clayton, it's the same cost, and they've held the cost for quite a while actually, which is really good of them. Considering, you know, everything in the world has gone up in price, they've really held out on the prices, which is brilliant. So what you want to do is just go into the main menu and go down to General, and then go down to Bluetooth. And then there's an option there to turn the Bluetooth on or off. So you want to turn it on, and then it'll show in here paired devices. So that'll be blank, but at the moment mine's already paired with my phone. So once you've done that, you'll go through and you'll click into available devices. You click on it, and then what it'll do is it'll flash up pair, and then you pump the number in that it says in pair just to confirm. And then that's it, you're in. It's nice and simple. It found it quite quickly as well, so I know with some Bluetooth devices it sort of takes a little bit of a while, but it was pretty snappy, so hopefully it is for you too. Right, straight into the app then. So when you go in, you'll see your device, you click on it, and straight away you're into that app. 12 volt is already on, and at the moment I'm drawing 47 watts. I've got a 90 litre fridge running, and I've got my fan running on about 30% or something like that, and I've got a few lights on. I can then turn the 230 volt on, and you can hear the inverter start up. And then what I can do is if it's plugged in, I'll put the toaster on, and then you should see that climb up. Yeah, so that's gone up to 880, 890 watts. Or if I turn that off, and then I go into my iNet on my Truma. Yeah, so if I turn my hot water on and turn it gas off, electricity on, and I don't know, I'll stick it at 1800 watts. That should get the battery down. So that's kicked in. You should then see that climb as the hot water kicks in. There you go. So yeah, so now the Truma, so I've got a Truma 6E, same on your 4D if you've got a diesel version, 6D, whatever. You can heat off electricity if you're on a campsite, whatever. I've done other videos on that. It's quite handy while you're driving to utilise the electricity to heat your water while you're driving. So yeah, so that's that running, and then I can just turn that off. So that's off. And then go back into the app and you'll see that drop down. Interesting, so it's showing 68 watts. If I turn the plug sockets off, well, there you go, it's dropped down to 0 now. So yeah, that was the coffee machine and toaster plugged in. So what else? So you can see from my solar, I'm getting 182 watts. It is pretty sunny today. It's really sunny. So it is and isn't. Get your words out, Mark. It is and it isn't surprising. So solar panels will generally not give you what they're actually rated at. I've got 4 100 watt solar panels, and I've sometimes had like decent wattage out of it, but generally it kind of floats a lot lower than that. As I've said before in the videos, the absolute thing you need to be watching out for on your solar panels is your open circuit voltage on the combination of your panels. It cannot be more than 50 volts for the Clayton, so keep an eye on that. But what you will find is that with your solar panels, as long as your voltage is low, you're probably not going to get that sort of maximum wattage that Clayton state. However, for your warranty, you don't want to be going over that. But yeah, you'll generally find that your wattage is not really kicking in to what it should be. However, your voltage is pretty consistent. Next up, I'll just start the engine and you'll see the power kicking on the DC. So you'll see it kick in on the DC. There you go, so it's kicking into 567, 570-ish on the app. Let's just turn this off and see how quickly it drops out. Oh, there you go, it's pretty instant. There you go, yeah. And I've not actually got shore power, so I can't actually test this for you. I could reach in and sort of put a plug in, but we don't bother with shore power because we've never needed it. I think what's quite exciting now is that just between two apps, I've got full control over my electrics, and then with the Truma, I've got full control over room climate, hot water. I can turn it gas only, electric only. It's spot on. I think the improvements with the Truma app as well are really, really good. Like the hot water now, when you turn that on, it'll tell you what the current temperature is. So it's saying it's currently 27. You've got all your options for your boost and all the rest of it. You've got your options for your 900, 1800 watt. And then it'll tell you what the actual different references are. So if you go into comfort, it'll say perfect for one shower. If you go into eco, it's like perfect for dishes. Or if you go into hot, it's perfect for several showers. But the really handy thing is, as you're heating up your hot water, you can just have a quick glance into the app and see what the actual temperature is at. Because if you're in a rush or whatever, you can just decide to sort of say, oh, well, you know, it's warm enough, it's not cold, I'll just jump in the shower. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. And I think, like, why are these things important? It's just convenience, really. I think when you're away in your van, if you get up in the morning and you go, right, I want to have a shower this morning, I want to, you know, maybe you're doing a bit of winter camping, I whack the heater on. It's actually got a timer as well. I'll maybe do a separate video on this actual app. But it's got a timer, you can set it, you know, you can say, right, I'm going to have a coffee or whatever, turn your 230 on, you know, it's on, and sort of basically from your bed, before you even get up, you're turning your Clayton on, your 230 is on, your heating's on, you're warming your water up for your shower, and it's just really convenient. And the same when you're going to bed. So with the Starlink, for example, if you've got that plugged in and you get into bed and you go, do you know what, I'm going to sleep, I want to make sure the Starlink's off. You can just turn your 230 off and you know everything's off. So it's a very simple app in the sort of style of Clayton, really. Everything they sort of do is really, really simple. There will be improvements, I'm told, to the app as they move along. This is like the first iteration of the app, but even the first iteration, it's just dead simple. You know, you've got everything there. What could be improved in the app? Maybe showing some of the data around what has been gained that day, in terms of solar, for example, you know, or what's been pulled from DC. I know you do have some of that sort of aggregated information within the LPS. Now, I'm not one of these that's constantly on it and looking it up. It's more just for, you know, a few of my customers are sort of a little bit more into knowing more about what's going in and out of the battery. For me, it's just generally full, and it's been great for 3.5 years. So yeah, we've had no issues. It's handy. I don't think it's be all and end all, but the app side of it is just a little bit more in terms of convenience. I just wanted to say a big thanks to Carl, Neil and Steve at Clayton for bits of support. I mostly try and diagnose and do most things. We've been doing this for 3.5 years now, and that is the one thing from buying from us. We're a little family business, is that you can literally phone me Sunday night and I will generally jump on and help you, whether that's a video call or going through things. After 3.5 years, I've pretty much seen every single issue or problem. The Claytons are really reliable. Most of the issues that I see are user error, and I'll do another little video on that. Big thanks to our other partner on logistics and storage and all the rest of it, Gary, Mark, David and Jamie. You've been brilliant, so really appreciate it, especially when we've had a bit of a difficult time this month. Yeah, it's nice to know that people do care sometimes when the shit has hit the fan. Also, a thanks to Katie, who does all the admin and manages all the orders, and if there's any calls on orders and things like that, she's always on the phone to help people, whether it's logistics or taking a call for me to call people back and help out and things like that. She's flipping amazing. She didn't want to be in the video today. She's just like, there's a lot been going on this month, so she's been finding it a bit tricky, so she just didn't want to be on camera. Yeah, I'll do a separate video on it, but I just don't want to dwell on it. It's been a tricky month and I just want to kind of move on, really. I just wanted to say thank you to the people that popped up and picked up a Clayton and then sent messages and what have you. We were one of the first little businesses to start selling the Claytons, and I've put a lot of content out, and it's not easy. It takes a long time, the editing. It's kind of one of those things where I got a lot from YouTube when I was building vans years ago, and it's nice to give back, and the messages are really appreciated. We've got a little website, ahoyleisure.com. You can also give us a call and order through a phone call, 0161 470 0451. As I say, we've been doing this for 3.5 years now, and whether it's a night time, weekend, I'll usually pick up the phone and help you with what you're trying to do to install it. So yes, we offer a price match guarantee, but it's not just about the price match guarantee, it's the after service. Looking forward to meeting some of the guys at some of the meetups. We've missed 2 meetups recently. We missed the Fort one, which looked great due to one of the doggies being poorly early on. And then I missed Aiden's Urban Arc Overland meetup, AKA the table meetup, because I had an hospital appointment. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to meeting you guys and catching up, and yeah, standard stuff that you see at meetups, you guys taking a piss out of me. What to expect from the channel? Right, well, we've got some really good content coming up, and I'll just touch on a few little bits. So John, who I have interviewed a couple of times now and have become good friends with, who we focused on the lightweight build on his van. He has got a really interesting story. So he's a property developer, but he found a piece of land like this. I'll give you the little synopsis of what the videos are going to be. He found a piece of land many moons ago on Anglesey, and it's one of them. Have you ever thought, right, I have to shut this window and sweat. In a plane going over. Have you ever thought about buying a piece of land and building a cabin? Well, John did that, but then bought enough land that he helped other people buy a cabin, and they all chipped in. And the weird law that they've got with what the land was and how they built it means that they can literally live on there 12 months of the year. Absolutely fascinating story in terms of how it went and what they've done, and we've got some plans on how we're going to kind of tell that story. We've been waiting for it to come up to summer because Anglesey in the summer is going to be like absolutely amazing. So that's going to be a really good video. The other one is, obviously I've got 3.5 years of helping people with little problems on their LPSs. And I'm going to sort of pull together a tips and tricks video. There's a new way that Clayton are saying to wire the actual LPS, so I'll do a wiring video, but there's also tips and tricks. So there's all sorts of little things. Like I see a lot of people like pushing their remote on because they think it's like a push and clip, but actually there's 2 grub screws at the top of the remote that you can kind of push and slide in. There's little things around, like if you get a certain issue with your LPS, low voltage, you know, certain error codes, they're quite quick to sort out. So I'll do a little bit of a shared video on that as well. There's another one which I've not really covered, but I've got a little bit of a weird claim to fame. So as I say, I'm an agency owner, and I've done quite well on, you know, building brands over the years, loads that you'll know. Barbarito was a stout brand, Mexican fast food chain that was eventually sold. So we did all the branding for that. Shindigger, if you're in the Northwest, you'll know about the Shindigger brand, the brewery. We've done work with Everton Football Club, Kellogg, all that kind of thing. That side of the business has done really well. But part of that journey, many moons ago, there's a guy called Stephen Bartlett off Dragon's Den. And my claim to fame is that I was the first person that was ever interviewed by him on his podcast. And I've actually got this idea for a book. I've written out the chapters, and it's called First in the Chair. And I've got this weird little funny story where, so it's Diary of a CEO. You've probably watched some of his stuff if you're on YouTube, but yeah, he was on stage and he was like, the truth is everyone wants to go on my podcast, or they're saying, oh, give us a few quid, now now you've got rich. But the reality is, way back then, nobody wanted to be on my podcast. And I was sat like 2 rows from the front and I couldn't resist it. And I could see Kate like shuffling about, but I thought, fuck it. So I just stuck my hand up, and when there was this little pause, and I just put my hand up and I went, I did. And he just kind of like squinted through the sort of stage lights. And he went, is that Mark Stringer? I was like, yeah. Like, how you doing, Steve? He was like, I didn't want to say too much because I'd gone bright red by that stage, realising that I'd just shown Kate up. So I want to talk about that interview. It was dead interesting. That interview did great. It went to top of Apple podcast charts. I think it's episode 4 or 6 on the actual podcast. It did really well. And like, I'm not a particularly interesting person. I'm just an average bod like you. But my story in that year was quite particular. I had an attempted coup on the business from some guys that worked in the branding side of the business, but we also managed to luckily escape a terrorist attack in London. So the Borough Market terrorist attack. Through a little bit of fortune, we luckily there was a bit of a delay us getting on the street. So even though we seen a lot happen, we narrowly missed out on being on the street as the attacks were happening. But we were close to it all. Like literally, we seen some people that had the throat cut. When we were at the final stages when the terrorists were killed, we were just meters from them. So all the gunshots and everything. So it was me, Kate, and my daughter Mia. So I think just with what's happened in my life and having this little bit of a scare and what's happened with the dogs and all the rest of it, I think I'm realising that I probably want to do a bit more sharing on the channel about things other than just the van build stuff. Because I think we've all been through little weird and wonderful stories in our lives, and it's really nice to kind of share it. And at the end of the day, this is my channel. Why not? I may as well share it. This is the perfect platform to do it. So yeah, I'm going to open up on a few more things. And yeah, I think it's tricky doing the video stuff. You kind of, over the years, I'm slowly sort of working out how comfortable I can be. I always feel like I can't quite be myself, but then you realise there's lots of different versions of yourself. So you get the kind of little bit of a presenter sort of guy, the little bit of a presenter sort of side that I have, if I've even got it. But yeah, and I think just this whole thing, like the van life side of it, or the kind of camper van scene. Van life is when you live in a van. We don't live in a van. The camper van scene, it's just lovely. Like the people that we've met at the different shows and bumping into people has been brilliant. Met some top people, and then through the whole van build series and the Clayton power side of things, just met loads of top people, and that's been really nice. I've just been reflecting on that, and it's just been great. So yeah, it's been good. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a tease on the upcoming content. I've got a massive long list. There's loads of dead interesting stuff. We have all sorts of wacky ideas. It's just the time to do it, really. But yeah, again, we started the channel off, and I think in our first videos we joked that we'd only have 2 viewers, and it would be my mum and Kate's mum sort of thing.
Oh, now I've got your boot for there, Kate. Get at least 1 more follower now. We'll have 2. Oh no, 3. Your mum, my mum, and our 1 follower.
And then, who knew it? We ended up with like 4,000 subscribers. So I'll shut up. I've gone on. But yeah, as you can tell, I'm quite sort of emotional and kind of a little bit reflective on my life, on things, understandably. and I'm sort of keen to get going and share more, basically. But yeah, if you are an avid viewer and you've managed to watch all my stuff, massive thank you. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.